like the beam, because it's time for Nerdy for 30 podcast where we talk about nerdy-ish shows for 30-ish minutes. My name is Kevin Bauer, aka the Critics' Choice. With me, as always, the People's Champ, Tim Cack.
If you feel it, chase it, baby. What up, Fat Bears?
Feel it, chase it. What up, Fat Bears? Today, we're talking about Marvel Zombies. I'm going to come right out and say it. I did not care for this one. There's a couple ideas in it that I think are fun. I really struggle with this kind of like this animation style they developed for What If. I think it looks great for everything but the people, and unfortunately that show and this show are completely focused on people, and I've really been trying to wring it out of myself whether I just don't like that style or if it is something deeper that I don't like. Where did you land on this, Tim? Did you like Marvel Zombies? Did you enjoy it? Do you want more?
I feel like I had zero expectations and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It was interesting. It was fun. I didn't really know what was going to happen. It seemed crazy. It seemed like they were always throwing in new stuff. It seemed like a lot of information, a lot of different combinations of people. It moved pretty quick. I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I also, maybe my thief of this thing is the gore and the violence. And I love that they leaned into it because they realized that the only reason anybody uses zombies in movies so much is that you can cut them up without anyone feeling bad.
Yeah.
They're zombies. They're demons. They're not real. They're not people anymore. So you can show Blade cutting up as many of them as he wants. And that stuff was super cool. And I like living in an alternate universe. I've kind of grown to like the what ifs a little more. I like all these different ideas. I like seeing alternate universes, and the fact that they're all taking place in alternate universes, and this is an alternate universe, kind of lets you do whatever. You can just kill off Hawkeye in the beginning of the show for like no reason, and I like that. I like that element of it. But yeah, the animation is weird, dude. It's weird. Do you think
really strange?
Do you think the shows would be better if they weren't trying so hard to make them look like the actual actors?
Yeah, because I think they kind of half-assed it. Like, I thought that Miss Marvel was America Chavez at first until she used the bangle, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, they're kind of half trying. Some characters they get close.
No,
it's tough when they don't have.
Iman was the voice actor for
too.
it.
Huh?
She had the real voice actor.
I couldn't hear it. At first, I was like I loved her in Miss Marvel, but I didn't recognize. I'm not at a point with her where I can recognize her voice specifically. But I will say that I did think like, man, the actor for America Chavez got a lot better. It's tough when they don't have the actual actor doing the voice because it makes it harder. So you hear Awkwafina and you're like, okay, cool. Well, that's Katie. Like, no question. But then there's other characters where it took me a moment to realize who what's her name? Not Kate Blanchett. The character that's Yelena's mom. Took me a minute to realize who she was supposed to be. Because whoever was doing that voice was going for it.
Yeah, it's weird that some of the voices are the real people and other ones are not. And it somehow comes across as very confusing.
Yeah.
To watch. Like, it's not fully immersive. I've tried to like kind of brush it off, but it is weird. It is weird to come back and like it's Paul Rudd, but then someone else is playing Spider-Man. They didn't get Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. And I do also find myself with the what ifs. It feels like it's a lot of the same characters. Maybe that's not accurate, but it feels like it's a lot of the same people. And I think mostly based on which voice actors they could get. And they picked 10 and they're like, well, these are the people. Simu Liu is involved in a lot of these. We're not getting Shang-Chi 2, but we are getting a lot of Simu.
Which is nice.
In all these what ifs.
I think where this shines that you do get more of these characters. So like, I want more Shang-Chi. For 5 years now, I've been like, where is he? You showed us some incredible fight scenes with this guy, and then we just don't get to see him again. He's honestly the thing I'm most excited to see about Doomsday, just to get him back in the mix. But
he's the thing I am most excited about.
Yeah. So you know what else was great to finally get in here is fucking Blade, dude. Like,
I'm kind of torn on that too. Is like
really?
it's Blade. Well, because then we got I guess we got Wesley Snipes in Deadpool, so we
Yes.
got the real Blade. But it feels weird to have Blade show up, but he's Khonshu. And I was like, is this a hat on a hat for someone who hasn't really been in the Marvel universe that long? It was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
It worked for the story, I guess. And the fight scenes with Blade were awesome. They did him well with all the like fighting and the sword stuff. It was very cool, and it makes sense that he's lined up with Khonshu. It's not like a crazy leap, but it felt like a lot.
That's one of my big complaints is that what these shows tend to lean into is this maximalism with the characters and the backstories and the lore that makes them completely repellent to everyone but diehard MCU fans. Like I'm a pretty massive MCU fan, man. I've got a Captain America shield in my closet. I'm looking at a replica of Doctor Strange's Eye of Agamotto. You know, I got the Infinity Gauntlet back when that came out. I've got an Iron Man over there. Like, I'm a pretty massive fan of this franchise. And this is a bridge too far for me. So, your casuals, I don't think this is made for casuals at all. I don't think everything needs to be made for casual fans. But what I do think they need to do, that they do really well with the mainline MCU stuff, that I don't see them doing with the what ifs and these other side things and the Disney Plus shows, is to give them the respect of making them a really good, solid, coherent piece of media. And these things work because they're so maximalist for the people who are not going to complain because they just want to see these characters. I want more for you, you listener who is a maximalist and who does want to see all these people. I want more for you. There are so many scenes in these that are really clunky where it's people just kind of talking about how to get somewhere. And there's so many scenes that seem to exist because they've locked in on that irreverent quippiness of the MCU, which works really well in really small doses. But if you have it all over the place, it's kind of like eating a sandwich where the second ingredient is cilantro. Like, this is a lot of cilantro in this thing. So what they should be doing instead, it's even okay to have the battles, but the battles have to be a function of something that's going on in the story. It's what makes everything that's incredible in the fight scene at the airport in Civil War so incredible is the stakes and the emotional relationships that are also metaphorically playing out inside of that fight. It's what separates something from being a fight scene for the sake of a fight scene from being something that is this incredible narrative piece. And if you look at the John Wick staircase scene, that's a narrative piece. That's one of the coolest action sequences I've ever seen. It's incredible. It has dramatic irony when he gets kicked down to the beginning of the staircase again. But it is a metaphor for this motherfucker's entire journey and the fact that he will keep going no matter how hard it is because he is getting to the top of that staircase. So I want more of that and less people standing in a gate being quippy with each other, even though the stakes are as high as they've ever been and they are literally being hunted by the corpses of their friends.
Right. And I did feel weird about, you know, it felt like when Yelena died, that Red Guardian was like really traumatized by it. And it's like, but I feel like we've seen so many other people die.
Yeah.
That I know that that's his daughter, but his grief felt out of place to me because it feels like we've seen so many other things to grieve over that like, or we haven't been caring about stuff that much.
Yeah.
So why are we caring now for this specific thing? You know, to your other point about building up to these things. I mean, I still think one of the greatest things ever is Captain America with Mjolnir, right?
Yeah.
Is with the hammer, right?
It's sick. So good.
And they teased that at least one movie in Age of Ultron. They tease it pretty hard. And it's a thing we know about from the comic books. And then finally at the craziest moment, we see it. And that was the biggest payoff ever. It was incredible. It was so cool. And I feel like What If is just constantly Captain America's picking up Thor's hammer.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So we had this thing opens with Miss Marvel Ironheart, and Haley Steinfeld playing Kate Bishop. And all three of them, it's the real voice actors.
Mhm.
I don't see how I could watch that and then be excited to the same. How I'd be super excited about seeing them all together in the movie.
Sure.
Right? Like Miss Marvel showing up at Hawkeye's house, right? When is that? At the end of the Marvels? And to
Yes.
recruit her?
Yep.
That's cool. That's a moment. But are those things going to be moments if we've already seen every combination of these people in these what ifs and the zombie thing? And we've seen, Ant-Man, his dismembered head with the cape, with Doctor Strange's cape. If we've seen all these things, how are they going to be able to still surprise us and do cool things in the movies? I'm wondering if it's like a little too much.
Yeah. And I mean, to a certain degree, that is exactly what these things exist to do. Like, this is partially also just to satiate fans who fucking love zombies. And the original Marvel Zombies comic miniseries was written by Robert Kirkman from The Walking Dead. And it was just designed to be this kind of like fun little what-off. They do what-ifs all the time in the comics, and they're specifically to explore these weird concepts like what if Captain America was Thor and all that. So there's a little bit of it built in, but you've got a great point where it does rob the specialness to a certain degree. And it's a little weird to be seeing these combinations when we haven't necessarily been given the same buildup that we had with the hammer with Captain America. It's just never going to be as cool. It's never going to be as much fun as when we have that buildup that we got the hint in Age of Ultron, and then people argue back and forth about it for 5 years before we finally saw the resolution. And
yeah,
we got introduced to Miss Marvel probably like 3 years ago. We got introduced to Haley Steinfeld probably about the same amount of years ago. Seeing them meet at the end of the Marvels was really fun, but we haven't really been given anything that would really drive a ton of interest about these two meeting. There's not narrative stakes for why putting them together would be fun. The thing that I like most about seeing that crew of people together, outside of just, getting more of those characters that I like, is I really liked the Mega Man or Samus arm cannon that Riri had, that Ironheart had. That like the little Mega Buster really works for me.
That's kind of cool. We should get into some things we liked. I did just want to make one last comment on this, which is like Shang-Chi is in this. I think they do a really great job with Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel are hanging out and they're having heart-to-hearts, and it's the real actors.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way you're going to be excited to see the two of them in a movie together?
Yeah, it's going to be weird because I'm going to feel like they already met, even though I know they didn't
like
in
been there,
whatever
done
universe. That. But yeah, and even her meeting Spider-Man. I know it's not Tom Holland, but
she met Spider-Man. She was excited to meet Spider-Man. She met Thor. She was excited to meet Thor.
Yeah, it does kind of rob the excitement a little bit. Although, I mean, Spider-Man still hasn't met Thor, right? We don't know what happened after.
Has
I don't
Spider-Man
think
met
we've
Thor?
ever interacted with him. I don't think he's ever interacted with the Hulk canonically. Although they all probably talked to the people.
They were all in the same battle. So I don't know how many people then can be like, oh my God, Thor, I've never met you. You don't think they talked after that?
Yeah, they probably
had a mixer.
Yeah.
You don't think they all went to a bar after that? You don't think they just had some sort of a social event afterwards to reconnect?
It would have been a fucking shawarma thing because people can't get past the shawarma. Yeah, let's talk about things we liked.
I want to say with Shang-Chi, I think Shang-Chi is awesome. It was weird to kind of go back in time and see him parking cars in this.
Yeah.
I was like, just give him the rings. Just give him the rings. And then you know what? They gave him the rings. His dad jumped out of a helicopter with the rings. Immediately, Shang-Chi gets bitten by a zombie and he gives up the rings, and then his dad just dies. And it's like, this feels a little forced, but using one of the rings to hold off the zombie virus
pretty cool
from infecting the rest of him. Really cool. I think this added more mystique to the rings the rings are really strong.
The rings are so cool, dude.
The rings are really cool. It's on par with Thor's hammer as like a weapon, a magical weapon in the MCU.
Yeah. And
they're awesome. They're
never
wrecking
seen
people
it before.
I've never seen it before. It's so cool. It's like an original idea they came up with the MCU. It's up there with Namor as like just no love.
Yeah.
As being
God,
one of the best MCU inventions. And the rings are friggin' awesome. And then you know what? They do this thing where they cut to them driving in the desert and they're doing like a journey sing along, and like Randall Park's there hanging out with them and just singing along with them. And I had a moment where I was like, this is the most Shang-Chi thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is so into their characters. Awkwafina's driving. Shang-Chi's just hanging along for the ride. They're just singing a ballad, like a karaoke song while they're doing this crazy thing. It just felt so into the character. It just felt so right to the character in a way that I don't know if I felt that way about other characters, like other character service. But Shang-Chi, I feel like that was so cool, man. And then even having Awkwafina utilize the rings too, it makes sense. It's like 5 years later.
Yeah.
It's his friend. Why wouldn't they grow together in some capacity? It makes sense. Especially in the zombie world, he'd want his friend to be able to utilize the one weapon they have that like definitely works against the zombies, right?
Oh, for sure. You got a magic gun in the zombie apocalypse, and you're not going to teach me how to use the magic gun. I would hold that against you.
You got to.
Yeah, that really works. In talking about the quippiness and stuff, I do think that they over-quip. They have too many characters be comic relief. I think that they would do really well to limit the number of characters that are comical. Works really well for Yelena. Obviously works really well for Tony and for Paul Rudd. I don't think we should be leaning on Mark Ruffalo for comedy. I kind of think the Hulk is the corniest one. I think we should kind of take the comedy out of the Hulk. But I do think that Sean and Katie and oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. The agent.
Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy. Yeah, he absolutely. The three of them being peas in a pod and all of them being quip characters that found each other in San Francisco and on a road trip together. That is great. That is when you do it. That is so good. Them being like this little goofy slice of comic relief is great.
Yeah, it is weird that now every Marvel character is like also funny.
It's Ted Lasso. It's late Ted Lasso, dude.
I don't necessarily think that every Marvel character is funny.
I don't think they should be. Yeah.
There's definitely arcs and stories where characters, get serious and all of that. But, I mean, I like what they're doing with Thor now, but reading the comics, I don't know if I ever would have thought of Thor as like a funny character.
No, not in the slightest.
He'll joke a little. I think everyone will joke because they're human beings, or for the most part. They're characters. They have moments of that, but I don't think quippiness is their main thing. Like everyone in the comic books is like annoyed with Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man is an annoying character because of how quippy he is and how much he talks. And it doesn't feel like that there's that big of a difference between, Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Iron Man and Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi and David Harbour and like all these people. It feels like everyone's kind of quipping during this stuff.
Yep.
Even having Paul Rudd come in, like his humor kind of slots right into what they've been doing with everybody, like everybody's quippy and fun. And I think we're going to be missing characters like even Drax or like Nebula, where their humor is at least different.
Yeah, they're zagging.
There's like they have a game that they're playing. There's a unique take on it other than just I'm quippy and fun and smart.
Yeah. It's I think they tried to kind of Trojan horse these things into the national unconscious by making them all comedies. And I think they were partially just trying to repeat the formula of what worked really well in Iron Man, but that's kind of unique to Robert Downey Jr. being really good at this, and not everybody is. So I think they would do really well to not try to make everybody quirky and adorkable, which is where we've gotten. And you got to scale that back down. If all the X-Men are adorkable, that movie's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, the X-Men can't be. Cyclops cannot talk the way Wolverine talks, the way Iceman talks, the way whoever talks.
Yeah.
Everyone is so different. And that's an ensemble. I think that does make it better when you're in a group you'd think if you're putting together a group like the Fantastic Four, it's easy to then see them all on paper together and go, oh, they each need a unique thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you carry that over. I mean, or you make a movie like they just did where they don't bother with that at all. But in theory, that would make more sense and be easier for them to do.
Sure. I think, the funniest that should really get is like in the first X-Men movie where Wolverine comes in and Cyclops thinks he might be Mystique. And it's like, relax, it's me. And he's like, prove it. He goes, you're a dick. Perfect. In character. It's exactly as funny as Wolverine would be able to be.
Yeah.
Like he should not be able to be funnier than that.
That's exactly their thing too, because Cyclops is also like, okay. And that's his type of humor.
Exactly. There you go. That's it. That's all we need.
It feels so locked in. Yeah. That what do you think of episode 1? We got Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, Ironheart on the thing. You say you love Ironheart's arm thing.
I think it's sick.
Don't care for Ironheart, I think. I'm just not into it at all. It seems like her character can just kind of do everything automatically in a way that feels like it's just a plot thing. Oh, well, we have that car you've been working on. Oh, well, you tracked this thing to Ohio. Oh, well, you've done this. And it kind of feels contrived in like a forced way, like her powers are forced, all this stuff. And I also feel like, watching the Ironheart show, she's a villain. Ironheart is a villain. She's a criminal. She's robbing people. She's not doing anything good. She's not a good person. And then the devil tempts her with an agreement and we're left on this cliffhanger. And I'm like, if you're being true to the character that you've created on this show, she's taking that deal.
Sure.
So I don't know it just feels like a huge switch then to be like, this Ironheart is like super cool in the heart of the team. And I don't think Ironheart is on the level of Miss Marvel or Kate Bishop at all. To me, I don't know.
No, the only thing that rubs me the wrong way with that, because we've seen this similar kind of I'm good at everything that you would have to be smart to be good at mastery from Tony and from Bruce in the past. But those are guys in their 50s. Ironheart's 19. If she's 50, I believe that she can do this kind of stuff. But to have her be like 19 years old and to be a master, biologist and mechanic and engineer and all these other things, it's just a little, it's the age thing for me. I've never liked that when it bothered me about like anytime that even the Sentinel kid, I forget who the kid was that learned how to like pilot a Sentinel in that one miniseries. It's like, this is a kid. Like they can be smart. Kids can be really smart. There are a lot of like teen engineers and stuff that get swept up into these think tanks and go to MIT early. And there's all these stories about somebody who graduated from this prestigious college at the age of like 14. But it's completely different from being a out and out master in these fields to the point where you're going to be able to excel in it during a zombie apocalypse. It just stretches the belief in something where people have superpowers.
Yeah, I think in those instances you're talking about with the Hulk and Iron Man, these are also older guys who've been, doing a ton of research in their field and also have unlimited resources.
Yes,
they have access to all the best technology. They've already done all these things. It's not crazy for them to be able to track Ultron's code back to a source if we've already watched them build all these Iron Man suits and create a serum that, allows them to turn into giant monsters.
Yeah.
It's not crazy. Iron Man 3, though, we get to see Tony stripped of the armor and he goes into go after the Mandarin, and he's got all this stuff that he put together, like the Christmas light bulbs and the weird gun and the taser glove. And that's him doing the best he can with the equipment he has. And it does feel, I don't know, I hate to be this guy where it's just like Ironheart's cutting the line and all of this stuff. We miss the part where they get to be creative, where she gets to show us what she can do outside of the suit.
Yeah.
And her intro, I don't want to get back into an Ironheart thing, but I'm not into Ironheart, and I don't necessarily need to see her hanging out with Ms. Marvel. And I think they've really done that character a disservice. But
yet another character that'd be a lot better if they just lowered the stakes. She doesn't need to be shooting lasers. She can have like a homemade taser. She can have light bulbs that explode. Like it doesn't need to be a laser. There's something
if
to
she
be
didn't
said
have the
about
suit?
believability there.
What if she just didn't have the suit
That's sick.
and they kept the show?
It's really cool.
And they did that, and she's doing this technology stuff, and she has to come up, and she's like just the tech whiz in like this crime thing.
I would
That's
love
great.
that.
Already way more interesting than this thing. The suit it's crazy. It's so crazy. What do you think about the Scarlet Witch in this as like this ultimate big bad who's stronger than a Hulk that's been absorbing infinity energy for 5 years?
Yeah, I don't fuck with that. That's weird. I was thinking about how strange that is, where it feels kind of like, what's the thing with Super Saiyans where it never really made sense? It's like the more diluted the Saiyan blood is in you, the stronger you get. Because like Gohan's twice as strong as Goku, but he's only half Saiyan. And then like,
right, the
Goten,
human element adds more potential to it.
So it's like, it's the same thing where Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel were both empowered by the stones specifically. It altered their DNA. And both of them then are somehow able to go toe to toe with somebody who is fully using the power of all the stones, which you would think just math wise doesn't work out. But I don't.
Yeah, the Captain Marvel thing doesn't make any sense because she got her powers from like an exploding engine that was the core that was powered by one of these things.
Yeah, she got hit like third hand by an Infinity Stone, and yet she's
she
like
should not be
unbelievably
anywhere
powered up.
She shouldn't be as powerful as one stone.
No, and yet here we are. So yeah, the power leveling is a little bit weird here to me. I mean, like Infinity powered Hulk is also one of those things. Like when you get into an argument on the playground, and it's like, well, this one has infinity power. It's like this means nothing anymore. Like
I love all the Marvel like power scaling stuff, but everyone involving the Hulk is like the Hulk is stronger than everybody. That's his bit is that he's stronger than everybody.
Right.
And the fact that we don't see him rage out, he's like kind of this Zen weird thing. It's like, why can't he be angry? Why can't he Hulk out? Why can't we see cool Hulk stuff? It was kind of cool to see Thor as a zombie there, but we also saw Thor get eviscerated or something right away when he shows up with like Rocket in them. And I don't know, that stuff's kind of interesting, but just weird. It's all weird. Blade, very cool. I'm excited about. It was very cool to see Blade. I don't know about the Khonshu stuff, but
it kind of works for me. It worked for me better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into it. I'm kind of into Blade Knight.
I was excited to see the raft as like a moving vessel and a ship. I think that's a great idea. I don't know why they feel the need to go underwater, but the idea of it being a ship, very cool. Namor becoming a zombie. I don't really understand the logistics of that, but it is very cool.
Stay underwater. You'd think that'd pretty much cover you.
Yeah, you'd think because the rest of his people like can't breathe above water. Right. So they must have come above water, gotten bitten by something, and then they go back in the water and bite people.
Yeah, kind of a bad plan. And he, by the time all this had happened, I don't think had been back above water. So it kind of seems like it would have been a nice and easy situation for him.
Yeah, it's odd that he's there, but it is cool to see them in the prison and all this stuff. Baron Zemo, I keep having to remind myself that he's not like a Nazi in the MCU.
Sure, yeah. It does feel weird, the extent to which they're embracing him.
Yes, they love him, and I'm always like, oh, but he's like a Nazi in the comic books. And then in this, he is like, I was Googling it to be sure, and it's like, he is not a Nazi. He just believes that superheroes shouldn't have more power than normal people. So it is like a similar vibe, of like, but either way, he makes me uncomfortable.
What did you think of the Nova Corps quarantining the planet?
I like that. I like it a lot. I think it makes a ton of sense. It's great. For some reason, I keep thinking we're going to get Nova as a character, and they keep not giving it to us, which makes me think that sometime we're going to get him in the movies. It's like the one thing they haven't done at all in these other shows is like give us actual Nova. So I feel like it's coming. I feel like we're going to get something with Nova, but them quarantining makes complete sense. We don't want this virus to spread, and we're going to destroy anything that comes out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, my one complaint with that would be that, technically, by the time Thanos gets to Earth, he's already destroyed Xandar and the Nova Corps. So they technically, canonically should not still exist, but,
Yeah, but why let logic stand in the way of a good idea?
I don't think they let logic stand in the way of any idea in the show.
That is something I do like about this, because I say this about it all the time with like other movies, is like, what's the funnest thing we could do?
Mm-hmm.
And I do appreciate that they are just throwing shit against the wall, and they are just like, it'd be cool if, what if this, who cares? And the flippancy does kind of, I think, have a negative impact on the actual movies and the MCU, but at the same time, it's nice that there's a formula that is like throwing stuff against the wall and having a good time. What do you think of the ending?
I just don't like fun. What do I think of the ending?
Don't like fun. The ending is weird. I kind of liked it right away, where I was like, I'm glad they don't win. It's cool. So just, if you're doing this whole thing in an alternate universe, every hero is turned into a zombie. Infinity Hulk is getting his butt kicked by the Scarlet Witch somehow. Yeah, you lose that. That world loses.
Yeah. And it's really creepy. It's a really creepy ending.
It is
the
creepy.
Flashes that Kamala's having. I was happy to see the little Boba scene, and then those little flashes on the street corner. It's really fucking eerie. It feels like a nightmare, which is nice. I think that's good in something like this. And I do wonder if it's setting up for a sequel.
It definitely seems like it's open to a sequel. I don't understand what is happening at the end. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any, like, what is she trapped in an illusion? Is she seeing the way the reality really is? Back. And Riri's back. So did she hit her head at the beginning, and then this whole other stuff happened, and she's having a dream while they're fighting these zombies? Because that's when she was alive, is right after Hawkeye gets blown up, and then Riri's fighting on this thing and tells the suit to take her away, Friday to take her away. So that's where we see her. She's got the arm. So this almost feels like it's all been a dream thing, even though you wake up and you're still in the zombie hellscape where all of this is happening. So I don't know. I don't understand. And is Wanda just putting her under a spell? Is Wanda turning her into a zombie? What does Wanda want to happen?
Yeah.
Everyone's free. Is she just creating another illusion world but if she's creating an illusion world, why not just turn all the zombies back into people? She has the power to do that. There's like a lot of stuff in this where it's like, you could just, I don't know. It's weird.
It is.
But I do appreciate the ending. I like that it's creepy. I like that it's Marvel Zombies. I like that there's blood and there's gore, and the ending is weird. And there's moments when zombies are sneaking up on them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to get attacked by zombies. I had a good time watching it. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah. I do think it was better overall than most of What If, and a lot of the Disney Plus shows. And I think overall, I'm more glad that we have this than I am grumpy about any of the things that I feel like could have been better. So overall, Marvel Zombies, okay by me.
Yes. I feel like I'm going to go back and rewatch Werewolf by Night. Like, that's kind of the mood.
Yeah, man.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah. Werewolf by Night is great. My review of Marvel Zombies is Werewolf by Night is great. Listener, what do you think? Let us know. Send us an email, nerdy430@gmail.com. We'll read it on the show. We'll be back here again next week with something spooky for you. We'll see you then. Till then, stay nerdy, everybody. Bye.
Stay nerdy. Bye.